Hello and welcome to the Chew Valley School podcasts for Flash Professional CS5 for the website. We've got to the point where we've got Sonic to run across the screen now, and using Control and Enter you can see that his legs move because we've used symbols. We've also got two layers for the background, one for the background and one for actual Sonic. If we didn't, the background would move at the same time as Sonic, so from here you get the Sonic picture and also the background moving across at exactly the same time. You'd never get that Sonic actually getting onto the background because every time he moved, the background would move as well. So that's why we've used two layers. You can hide layers as well at any time. You can go, I don't want to see Sonic, and I don't want to see the background. So you can see stuff behind the layer that you're working on. Quite useful, those, and also lock layers. So you say, I've finished with Sonic now, I don't need to touch him, and you won't physically be able to touch him at all. So there, it's completely locked. Two useful bits on the top. We're going to go a bit further with some classic tweening now. We've got him to move across the screen, but in true Sonic fashion, when he gets to a certain point on the screen, we're going to get our paintbrush, properties, make sure we're on black, and we're going to have a very simple loop. The loop. Oh, I've got it in blue there by accident. Let's try that again. So very simple loop and back down. There you go. We could do that better there. We could get an actual loop off the internet and stuff, and we notice the smoothing doesn't really work there, so maybe you want to think about changing the way, the style that it's done, and how it smooths it. For now I'm just going to leave it like that because I can use that as a guide for Sonic going up, and we want to say when it gets to about this point we want to start going up the loop, and to go back downwards all the way up and round the loop and back downwards, and then to exit the loop there. So we've got from here to here really to do the loop. Now if we did it from there to there and just used those keyframes, he'd walk along quite slowly, but then he'd have to rush up and downwards because the same amount of time that it would take him to walk across there, we're saying actually now you've got to walk upwards and downwards. So you'll see that at keyframe 60 he exits the loop at the moment because he's just walking through it, but by the time we've finished, keyframe 60 might be halfway up the top of the loop. So you may need to extend your timing slightly, but you'll see that as we go through. So let's run it again. We start across. It's fine here. This is all fine. This is all fine. It's at this point that we want it to change. So let's get the selection tool and let's move Sonic up slightly. Make sure he's unlocked on the layer. Move him up slightly, and also use this tool, the free transform tool, to click it. And we've got resizing there. We don't want to resize it. We want to go around the outside, and you'll see as you hover over there it is the rotation tool. So let's rotate him up slightly, just very very slightly, because he's touching the top of the loop at the moment. There you go, very very slightly, and he's there. He's ready to go up the top of the loop. Let's move a bit further so he goes that way, that way, that way, and oh, at this point he needs to be up a bit further, and it is trial and error to get it to move up the loop smoothly, but make sure that you're leaving enough gap and you're turning him at each point so that it looks smooth. There you go. So that's going upwards and a bit further from there maybe. So we don't have to insert a keyframe each time. I'm just literally putting it on and it's putting a keyframe in its place. Flash is good like that. It recognises that you want to do something and it does it automatically for you. Very useful. Let's keyframe again. Move that to there. And spin it round, and you can see we've already hit 60 and he's not even up the loop yet, but to keep it smooth we've had to do that. So let's go a bit further, let's go up, and at this point let's spin him from there. Just make sure that his legs are touching the loop each time, otherwise it won't look realistic. It'll look as if he's hovering through it. So that goes up, and then a bit further he's over here. Notice Flash is saying, look, you're trying to join from this area to this area, so I'm going to keep pulling him the opposite direction that we want him to go, because that's what I think you want to do. Flash is saying that. We're saying, actually, we want him to go around this loop, and then we want him to go down quickly, so let's move him across a bit further, make sure he's touching it again. Did I sort that one? Let's spin that one round as well, so he's completely upside down, and then round, and then let's get him to go downwards. Here you go. Again, it's a lot of work just to ease him round, but it does pay dividends when you actually get to do it. So let's put him down here, a bit further. There you go, and a bit further again. So we're moving along the timeline each time, and we're checking one, that he's hitting the floor of the loop, and then two, that his body is rotated in the appropriate direction as he's doing it. There you go. So he's going up, round, down, and I'd say at this point I can let him hit the ground and turn him fully back the right way, make sure it's straight. So you'll see that the lines are currently not straight, but I'm just going to do it as best as I can there. And there he is, and out he goes. Let's run that, let's see what that looks like. Control and enter. So he goes up, round the loop, and back again. Now you can see what I was talking about has happened. He's gone slowly, and then he speeds up to go around the loop because we haven't given enough keyframes in between. So we need to sort that out. We need to get that sorted. We need to extend our project a bit further. So I'm going to say, actually, I want it to be 120 frames. I don't feel that the amount of seconds that we gave it there, which is 3.7 seconds to go from this side all the way back up and round, is good enough. So I'm going to drag that a bit further. I'm going to drag it to 120, so it's 5 seconds worth. Put the background back on like before, insert a frame in the background layer. In fact, I can lock that background now because I've done my loop-the-loop. I'm there, I'm ready. I don't need to touch that anymore. It's just the Sonic that I'm working on. So, and then we need to extend these. So as it goes up, it's fine. So you need to run it yourself, decide where it's going too fast, which I think is there. I think at this point, from here to here, that's too fast. So we need to pull out these keyframes a bit further. This is quite a boring task in that you've got to drag each of these keyframes a bit further. So I'm going to drag from 78 all the way up to there to 94, and I'm going to drag the next one a bit further, and you're just spacing them out. So give yourself enough space. Do move that about 20 keyframes along so that you can space these out effectively. You don't want to get to the point where you get around here and you haven't got enough space to move it across. So I'm just going to drag it out a bit further like that, making sure that it does seem effective, and I've got to this point, which is where I said it was probably going wrong. Let's try that again. Control and enter, and it runs up, and it's a lot more smooth. Apart from, let's see, this bit is good, although he does slow a bit here. If you ever watch this slowly, up, slow, and then too fast. So I've gone a bit wrong here. That's too slow, that bit from there to there. From keyframe 52 to, pull that back up, to keyframe 58. Those are too slow. So there you go, 52, 58. So I'm going to drag that in. I'm just going to drag that a bit closer together. I've said now let it go a bit faster so that it looks smoother from there to there. And then this bit's now too slow, so I need to bring this back in. It's alright because it evens it out. If I control and enter, that's going up fine. It's too fast at the top though still, so it's going good speed, too fast across there. So let's have a look at that. Up, that's where it's too fast here. So let's drag this a bit closer. Let's drag that one a bit closer slightly. Up it goes, good, and round. Let's have a look at that. Control and enter. Does Sonic go around the loop? Yes, it does. Minor changes I'd probably do if I was being a bit picky to try and make it completely professional. I'd definitely go and get a better loop off the internet than this. It just looks like the top of a present. But apart from that, we've got Sonic rotating round the loop using a classic tween, but also using the free transform tool to edit the place that we want it. Have a go.